worldwide war against crime, there are men and women trained to sink their own identity in the international underworld. They work alone, in danger and in shadow, unrecognized by friend and enemy alike. They are the operators of the almost legendary Ghost Squad.
This is the director's lab where the safe was opened. These other huts are research labs, offices, and so on. This fence surrounds the area, and last night a hole was cut in it here, after 2 a.m., according to the night watchman.
What did the actual theft consist of? Chemical formulas?
Oh, formulae, analyses, results of experiments, and in most cases, actual samples.
All that from the same safe?
That's the local security routine. All classified material from all departments goes into the director's safe at night.
Well, I can see where Potter and Winch's rivals would pay good money for some of these. But I don't see where the Ghost Squad comes in.
There's one item not listed there.
Oh?
PG7. File of data and sample container. According to the Ministry of Defense, PG7 is a new airborne inhalant war gas. It's lethal in the smallest concentrations, easy to deliver, almost odorless, and effective against all known types of military respirator, apart from actual oxygen masks.
Nice stuff.
Geoffrey Hayden, he's the director in charge of the establishment, has been working on it for some years under personal agreement between the ministry and the chairman of Potter and Winch, and even the chairman doesn't know any details.
Who else is in on it?
Well, below cabinet level, there's...
No. Sorry, sir. I mean inside the pest control outfit.
Oh, I see. Well, there's the local security officer. He's a retired detective inspector. Hayden himself, of course, and his personal assistant, and his confidential secretary.
Do we have copies of the security reports?
They all read like paragons.
Oh, it's 9 chances out of 10 that this is a straightforward screw by some villain who couldn't tell DDT from talc powder, and the PG7 just got swept up with the rest of the loot.
You want me to go down there?
The local division are treating it as a routine case of breaking and entering. They know nothing whatever about the chemical warfare angle. But whatever happened to it, PG7 is on the top secret list and it's got to stay there.
Well, if this is a rush job, I'll need inside cooperation. What about the director, Hayden? Can he be trusted?
Well, if he wanted to sell the stuff, he's the one person that could have taken it at any time without having to fake a cover theft. No, I'm sure he's all right. I'll contact him. For the rest, you are Don Sargent, the senior executive of Potter and Winch Canada. The chairman is sending you down in his own car. You can run through your background brief on the way.
Right.
Diana, this is our Canadian colleague, Mr. Don Sargent, a personal friend of the chairman. Miss Diana Healy, confidential secretary and kingpin of the establishment. Should I say queen?
I understand you had some excitement here last night.
Yes.
Are the police still here, Diana?
The inspector's in the lab. He wants to see you before he goes.
If you're interested, Mr. Sargent.
Sure.
Oh, Inspector, this is Mr. Don Sargent, a member of our Canadian board.
Would you rather I waited outside, Inspector?
That's quite all right, sir. It's about the chimpanzee, Dr. Hayden. The night watchman says he heard it scream at approximately 1 a.m.
Yes, so I understand.
And you found the animal dead when you arrived here this morning.
Yes, that's right.
Have you any idea of the cause of death?
Well, we're waiting on the results of the autopsy, but I'd say poison.
Poison? Ah.
Yes, yesterday one of my departments sent over samples of a rodent exterminator in a highly concentrated form. I'm afraid the poor beast must have reached through the bars and eaten some of it.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you, Dr. Hayden. I'm sorry I kept you out of here so long. Bye, Mr. Sargent.
By the looks of the safe, I'd say the thief was disturbed and left in a hurry.
Yes, possibly. You're the expert, Mr. Craig.
Sergeant, please. As long as I'm here, I'm Don Sargent.
I'm sorry.
Security's touchy business. But then so is gas. PG7. Does that mean the first 6 shots were misses?
You might say that.
When did you decide number 7 was a hit?
Oh, about 2 months ago.
Who did you tell about your success?
The permanent undersecretary and Professor Jevons at the Ministry CW Research Establishment.
No, I mean here at Potter and Winch's.
Rogers, my assistant, knew, of course. He's on holidays in Spain.
And he's the only other person who knew outside the ministry?
Look, what's the point of all this?
Well, if someone came here looking for PG7, they had to know it was here. So someone must have leaked the information from your outfit. That girl out there, for instance.
That's a monstrous suggestion.
Well, I suppose she couldn't. She didn't know it was beyond the experimental stage, so I guess that lets her out. This assistant of yours, Rogers, has he been with you all the time you've been working on this stuff?
Well, very nearly. There was another man here when I first got the idea.
Oh. Or someone else knew what you were doing?
Only in very general terms. I've come a long way since Boone walked out.
Boone? Walked out, why?
A protest. Professor Boone calls himself a pacifist.
Does he still see anyone from here?
Well, I believe Diana meets him occasionally. But I can assure you Boone is not relevant.
How do you know?
Well, I don't like the man. He's a woolly-minded idealist, but, well, he's honest. Just isn't possible to conceive of him as a traitor.
What's in here?
Oh, that's my own room.
Do you think if I sent Miss Healy in here, you could keep her busy for about a half an hour?
But why?
I'm sure you could.
Diana Healy, I'd like to talk to Sebastian. Well, look, do you know where I can get in touch with him or even get a message to him? Yes, it's very urgent. I'll hold on.
Oh, sorry. Go right ahead with your call.
I'd finished. I mean, it wasn't important anyway.
Dr. Hayden would like you to go in.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Nick wants an intercept on the local telephone exchange. Get me the Home Office for clearance. Oh, and also I want a complete rundown on a research chemist called Boone. He's a prominent pacifist.
How are you, Dick?
Ginger. Ginger Todd.
Not Ginger anymore.
I'm not Nick anymore. I'm Don Sargent, at least for the moment.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've come a long way since we first met on that IDB job. Wasting your time here, Nick.
You think so?
Take it from me, boy. This wasn't a Politico. It was a clean tickle by a high-grade screwsman.
Not so clean. He left half the contents in the safe. What do you know about a man named Boone?
Boone?
Yeah, he used to work for Hayden. A pacifist, a friend of Miss Healy's.
Same old story. A loves B, B loves C. If you're trying to cast Boone as a spy, you can forget it.
Why?
I know the man.
You do?
Did when he was here. Oh, that kind doesn't change. He's simple, a bit crazy on the subject of bombs.
And gas.
Sure, he's a pacifist. You stand up in Trafalgar Square and tell the world he is. Sebastian Boone is not political, and he's certainly not bent.
Yes, right. Well, it's time for lunch. Would you care to join us?
No. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Sergeant. I already have a date for lunch.
A date with a telephone, I guess. Is she always like that?
No, not always. After last night's break-in, I suppose she has a right to be a bit edgy. I could do with a drink myself. You coming?
Why not?
A veteran department, please. Oh, it's the director here. Have you any results on that autopsy of the chimpanzee, yeah? I see. Yes, well, keep trying. Let me know if you get any results.
Diana Healy seems to have spent most of her afternoons phoning round trying to contact this man, Sebastian Boone. Here are the details.
What about Boone? Anything known?
Nothing more than what you heard. Genuine pacifist, rated 100% good security risk. Diana Healy left messages all over the place saying she'd wait for Professor Boone at the Nobel Club from 6:30 on.
It's a small professional club for scientists off Gower Street.
Today, I am a scientist.
That'll be all right. Thank you very much, Professor Boone. You know, I really shouldn't be here. The purest chance I got your message.
Thank heavens that you did.
Darling, what is it? Jeff Hayden being a bore?
No worse than usual. Sebastian, did you read about the robbery?
Yes, I did. Todd must be slipping.
One of the things that was taken was a sample of PG7.
Was it indeed?
Sebastian, was it you?
Me?
Darling, please, I've been nearly frantic all day.
What on earth would I want with PG7?
Thought you might have some crazy idea.
Darling, you're the one with crazy ideas.
Can't tell you what a relief this is.
Professor Boone, telephone for you, sir. For me? I didn't tell anyone I'd be here. No, I can't speak to anyone. Say you haven't seen me.
It's Mr. Sullivan, sir. He says it's urgent.
Oh. Well, in that case, look, excuse me, darling. I'll be right back.
You mind if I sit down?
Oh, Mr. Sergeant.
Hello. Hello, Boone here. Hello, Sullivan, are you there? Hello. Hello.
It was me that phoned you from across the street.
What do you want?
Well, this is a piece of luck. When I was put up as guest member of this club, I hardly imagined I'd run into someone I knew on the very first night. And with Professor Boone, too. A brilliant research chemist. I've always wanted to meet him. Do you know him well?
Yes, quite well.
But I can't just walk out and leave her.
You should never have walked in. Mr. Sullivan's very upset. Oh, you don't want to mess up the whole deal, do you? Come on, Professor, let's go.
I couldn't help overhearing that it was Mr. Sullivan that just called Professor Boone. Do you know him?
No, why?
Well, I used to know a Mike Sullivan. He was a research chemist, too. I'd certainly like to say hello to him. Excuse me while I see if it's the same man. Do you have any French cigarettes?
Yes, sir.
This, Mr. Sullivan, who just called Professor Boone, is he a member of the club?
No, sir, no, but he's been here a couple of times as a guest.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's an old friend of mine. What does he look like?
Well, now, I'd say 6'1", thinning, brown hair, dresses discreetly.
Yes, well, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, Nick. We're ready. Tim Sullivan, American. Age about 45. 6'1". Dresses quietly. Speaks quietly. Distinguishing mark. Long diagonal scar on right cheek. Is that the lot? No, I think it's very good. Yes, observant type, these barmen. Yes, I agree. Probably a complete redheading, but I'll check with international records. Bye.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but I had to make a call.
Where's Sebastian? Professor Boone? No, thank you.
He left.
Left?
Seems he sneaked out the back door.
Oh, he's always doing that kind of thing.
The absent-minded professor. I know the type.
Well, it was nice running into you, Mr. Sergeant. See you in the morning.
Aren't you going to wait for Professor Boone to recover his memory?
No, I remember. He had another appointment anyway. Good night.
Oh, put the car away, Rocco.
Professor, you shouldn't have done that.
I know. When I rang the club to cancel my speech for next Sunday, they told me she'd rung 3 times.
Yes, I understand how you feel about the girl, but you took an awful risk just to say hello to her.
Yeah, possibly. But please, don't send Rocco to follow me again. I don't like him.
Well, I don't like having to do it, but surely our project takes priority over everything else, even human relationships.
Yes. Oh, look at all this muck. I suppose those confounded hens have been in here again. Why on earth you had to choose a chicken farm for me to work in?
Well, can you think of a better location for our purpose? Deep in the country, and only 25 miles from London.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit upset this evening.
Sure, I understand. Now, you got everything you need?
Yes. When I designed this place, I modeled it on Hayden's laboratory. I've got all the same facilities.
Yeah, but can you make this stuff? Can you produce it in bulk?
Certainly. If you keep me supplied with materials.
Oh, that's all taken care of. You name it, I'll get it.
Then Operation PG7 is on.
There's nothing at all. Hayden's a bat witness. Why shouldn't he be? The girl's jumpy. She's involved in an emotional triangle. Boone walks out the back door on her. Maybe he is an absent-minded professor. There's nothing anybody said or done that couldn't have a perfectly normal explanation.
Well, we'll check on the assistant in Spain. If there's nothing there, we'll pull out.
I don't think so, sir.
Oh, what have you got?
Mr. Sullivan.
Who is he? A foreign agent?
Worse. If a foreign agent got hold of PG7, it would be stockpiled for possible use in a possible future war. Sullivan deals in merchandise for immediate consumption. He's a gun runner, a death merchant.
Good morning. You're early.
Where's Boone?
I don't know. What's it to do with you, anyway?
Why were you so desperate to get a hold of him yesterday?
I wasn't.
You know he has that gas.
No. Look, what do you know about all this?
Plenty. As personal representative of the chairman, it's my business to know. I know Boone's got a hold of PG7, and it's an even money bet he's turning it out in bulk right now for sale.
No.
And he's got a business associate who'll do the merchandising, but your boyfriend is responsible.
No, you've got it all wrong.
Well, put me right then.
Sebastian's a humanitarian. If he really has got hold of PG7, it can only be because he wants it publicized. He wants everyone to have access to it freely and equally.
What kind of humanitarian does that make him?
Well, PG7 isn't a gas in the usual sense.
Well, what is it then?
PG means paralyzing gas. It's a mass anesthetic. Drop it on a city and the whole population goes to sleep. There's no destruction, no maiming, no killing. It's the ultimate humane deterrent.
And this is what you told Boone.
Yes, of course, it's the truth. PG7 makes a negation of war. When everyone has it, war becomes a mockery. If Sebastian wants to give a demonstration, to give PG7 to the world, is that such a crime?
Who told you all this? Was it Hayden?
Does that matter?
Depends on whether it's true or not.
Oh, it is. I've seen it tested on a cage full of rats. They were put to sleep for 24 hours. And they're still alive and healthy today.
Yes? Well, we'll see. you lie to me yesterday? You told me your assistant was the only one who knew about PG7. But Miss Healy knows because you told her.
Yes.
Why?
I told her.
Didn't it occur to you she'd pass it on to Boone?
I knew she would. I wanted them to know, both of them. While Boone was clowning it in Trafalgar Square, I was working, doing something constructive.
Oh, yes, I see. A childish maneuver in your dreary little sex war. Is that why you told her all that bull about the humane deterrent?
Well, it wasn't. It was true.
True. Then why is it listed with the ministry as lethal? Didn't you test the stuff?
Don't be a fool, Craig. I'm a scientist.
You haven't answered my question. Why is it listed as lethal?
I sent samples of PG7 to the ministry's labs for testing. With smaller mammals and birds, they confirmed my results. Then they began to experiment with primates. It's monkeys, lemurs, and apes. The first stage was identical, profound coma. But in every case, as soon as the animal recovered consciousness, it died. The nerve centers in the brain were affected.
And the same thing will happen with men?
Yes.
But you didn't bother to pass this bit of information along.
I couldn't.
Do you really think that girl's going to fall for you because you make a successful nerve gas and give you the push because it turns out to be a flop?
I wasn't entirely convinced that those fools at the ministry lab hadn't made some mistake.
But you are convinced now.
Yes.
And the chimp?
That's what I was doing. I was conducting my own experiment. I gave it a microdose at 7:30. It went into a deep coma. It woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, screaming in agony, and was dead within 5 minutes.
How do you know?
I was there in my room. I dozed off and was woken by the screams.
Well, how long did you stay after the chimp died?
Hours. I don't know. I left at about 6:30.
Well, why didn't you tell all this to the police?
Well, when Diana came in, I couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth. I told her I found the animal dead and then made up that story about the rat poison. And then the burglary was discovered, the police arrived, and I told them the same. Well, why not?
Well, you seem to forget the value of negative information. If you were here from 1 o'clock on and the fence wasn't cut until after 2, somebody who works here had to open that safe. Now, you haven't cooperated at all so far. You've done nothing but confuse the issue. What I want to know is, are you with us or against us?
Oh, don't be a fool.
Good. I take it that means you're with us. Now, I've got to make a call. Is there a GPO line in your room?
Craig has arranged for Hayden to give a demonstration. We've been working on the assumption that the stuff was taken by someone who believed it to be humane and harmless. When that person finds out the truth, the natural reaction will be to contact Boone and warn him. That's where all you come in. I want everyone attending that demonstration to be followed from the moment he leaves. Diana Healy, Dr. Hayden, and Jean, you take Inspector Todd.
Right, sir.
Is she dead?
Yes.
Now, that's the effect it has on a chimpanzee. Dr. Hayden tells me the effect on a man is just as bad, if not worse. Now, if any of you has any information you've not yet given to the police... Now, let's get the situation clear. Whatever Dr. Boone's intentions may be, his partner is only interested in a sale. And if PG7 is sold, it'll be used. Nothing? All right, that's all.
Diana, I'm sorry.
For a man who wants to make a revolution without a bloodbath, PG7 is your ideal weapon. Why, it might have been designed to your own specifications, Senor Faria. Why, assuming, of course, that you can afford it.
Finance will be available, provided these claims are true.
Sure, sure. I don't expect you to buy blind. My colleague will be happy to set up any kind of demonstration you care to nominate.
When?
Well, just any time you like.
Have you asked the secretary, miss?
Yes, Professor Boone didn't leave any forwarding address.
I'm afraid I can't help you.
Can you suggest anyone who might know where he is? One of the members, perhaps.
If you're really looking for Boone, you won't find him this way.
You've been following me.
I'm afraid so. Somebody at Potter and Winch's knows where he is, and you were my best bet. It looks as if I gambled wrong, doesn't it?
Room 11? Mr. Casey? This is reception, and Mr. Todd would like to see you. He says it's urgent. Right. Will you go up, please? It's room 11 on the second floor.
Thank you.
Professor Boone, please.
There's no one of that name staying here.
Oh, that's funny. I was sure he said the Brunswick Hotel. Mr. Sullivan, then?
No Sullivan, either.
I can't understand it. That man who came in just now, Mr. Todd, he's a friend of mine. Didn't he ask for Professor Boone or Mr. Sullivan?
No, Mr. Casey. I can call his room if you'd like to speak to Mr. Todd.
No, no, I won't disturb him. Is Mr. Casey an American with a scar on his right cheek?
Well, he's American. I don't know about the scar. I didn't notice.
Thank you.
I'm checking out of here today. Call me at the country number anytime, and I'll fix up a demonstration.
Thank you. I shall think it over and telephone you tonight. Well, goodbye, Mr. Sullivan. Or should I say, Mr. Casey?
Oh, now, what's in a name, Senor Faria? I told you to keep away from me.
I've got to talk to Boone. The whole deal is off.
Just like that. You're crazy.
Well, that's what it's all promised to. Right. Mr. Sergeant will be asking for me. Will you please see that he gets this note?
What you tell me is all very interesting, but even if it's true, it doesn't make any difference.
It makes all the difference. Don't you understand?
Look, Todd, you've had your say. Now, you listen to me. I'm a businessman. The commodity I deal in happens to be weapons. In half the countries on this planet, there are men who want to play politics with bullets. Now, am I responsible?
Yes,
Those guys are going to get those guns from someplace, and guns are for killing. Likewise, bombs, grenades, bazookas. PG7 is just another weapon.
No, it isn't. I expect you to give it up because the whole situation is changed. Look, I only agreed to steal the formula because Boone told me the stuff was harmless.
Let's get one thing straight, Todd. You're an old man. In a year or two, you'll be through with nothing but a lousy police pension to see you out. You did what you did for cash.
I haven't touched the money. You'll get it back, every penny.
And the alternative?
You don't have to guess.
Well, I don't have much choice. What do you want?
I told you. I've got to see Boone.
chief on the phone. Jean called. She's at the Brunswick Hotel waiting in the lobby.
Boone?
No, a man calling himself Casey, who might be Sullivan.
Okay. I'll let you know as soon as I find Professor Boone.
Can I come with you?
Sorry, no.
Oh, please. He might not believe you when you tell him about PG7. He may think it's some sort of a bluff, but if I'm there, I think he'll listen. Please?
You've got a point. Okay. Let's see what Jean has for us.
There's a girl out there at the cafe. She's been following me. Bring her in.
Be a pleasure, I'm sure.
I'm afraid you're too late, sir. Mr. Casey checked out some time ago.
Was there a man with him? A middle-aged man, leathery face, gray hair?
That's right. One moment.
Todd, I can't believe it.
Why? Just because he was once a cop? You were once a good security risk. Boone was once an honest and respected chemist. Get the motives mixed up enough and anyone can go the wrong way. What about the young lady that was here? Did she go immediately after them?
Young lady, sir?
Yes, the girl that was waiting here.
There's been no girl here, sir, not while I've been on.
Oh? Excuse me.
Who sent you to follow me?
Nobody. I've always been sympathetic to your cause, and I wanted to meet you, to talk to you. Well, I happened to recognize you in the street.
Which street?
Just outside, in Greek Street.
You have been following me before that.
Nothing here except a driving license. The name is Jean Carter.
Miss Carter, I must know who you're working for. The British government? My government? The communists? The fascists? Who pays you?
No one.
Miss Carter, you may not believe this, but I deplore unnecessary violence.
I believe you.
Then tell me, who pays you?
No one.
Silva?
Did anyone leave a message for me? Mr. Sergeant.
Mr. Sergeant? No, sir.
Could it have been left before you came on duty?
My colleague would have left it in the rack, sir.
Is there any other place it could be?
I suppose he might have put it in the office. I don't know why he should, but he might.
I don't like it. No call, no message. She just went off on her own and let Sullivan and Todd walk out on us.
Oh, check the car for gas, Rocco. I'll call you if I want you.
Okay. Don't lost up my game, eh?
What a dump. Where's Boone?
Oh, in the lab. He doesn't like outsiders walking in on him. You know, Todd, this is going to be a great shock to the professor. I think I ought to break it to him in easy stages.
Any way you like, as long as he gets the truth.
Fine, fine. Then you can tell him your way after I'm through, and then the three of us will put our heads together and figure out what to do.
It doesn't need any figuring.
Well, maybe not. Well, sit down, Todd. Pour yourself a drink. There's some scotch in the cupboard. Oh. Hello, Professor. You had a good day?
Satisfactory.
Me, too. I've just been talking to the guy who's going to set up the demonstrations in Southern Europe to coincide with ours.
Oh, that's excellent. Excellent.
There's just one thing, Professor. I've been thinking, before we try these mass demonstrations, shouldn't we test it out on a man first?
Oh, yes. But the ministry did carry out tests on primates which were completely satisfactory. So there's really no reason why we shouldn't experiment on ourselves. Here and now, if you like.
Why not? No, don't get me wrong, Professor. You've got work to do and I've got contacts to make. We can't afford the time to put ourselves out right now. But Todd, now he's volunteered to be the guinea pig. He's in the next room.
Oh, good man. We'll bring him in.
Oh, there's just one thing. He's just a little bit anxious about the actual moment.
Oh, that's ridiculous. No, I'll tell him. He won't feel a thing.
Well, just the same, he'd just as soon not know what hit him when the time comes. I think we ought to humor him.
Yes, all right. Yeah. Hey, better wear this. If the time's so valuable.
No!
Good day. My colleague tells me you wanted to see me, sir.
Yes, I'm asking for a verbal message or a note that was left by a young lady for me this afternoon. My name is Sergeant.
Can you give me proof of your identification?
Why so cautious?
I don't think the note should fall into the wrong hands.
Have you read it?
No, but the lady said it contained valuable information.
It's secret?
Oh, no. You're deep enough in this anyway. In his own eyes, a champion of the oppressed. To his government, a dangerous revolutionary with a price in his head.
Farah is going to buy PG7 from Sullivan. That means that Sebastian will...
That's right.
Silva, that's enough. Miss Carter, please tell me who you're working for. That is all I want to know.
All right, you can take your mask off now. The atmosphere's clear.
How's Todd?
Everything according to prognosis. Deep coma.
How long before he wakes up?
That's difficult to say.
Haven't you any idea?
Well, not less than 3 hours. Not more than 5.
No, Healy?
This is Superintendent Owen.
Please sit down.
Any word from Jean?
Not yet. I've handed to Farrier, you know. None of the intelligence agencies had the faintest idea he was even in England.
And the others, Todd and Sullivan?
Gone to ground.
So we're left with only Furry as a lead.
Since Jean elected to disobey orders and walk away from Todd.
Well, she probably had about 2 seconds to make a very difficult decision.
She's not paid to make decisions.
Well, she's paid to use her initiative, sir.
She's paid to do what I tell her.
Right.
And where are you going?
Jean's been a long time without contact. She must have walked into some trouble. I'm going to see if I can find Farrier.
Shall I go with you?
Not this time. Mr. Owen would probably like to take a written statement from you.
Now, Miss Healy, I should like a full statement from you, please.
Going to look for Farrier was easy to say, but finding him wasn't. However, I took a chance and headed for Soho, a crooked mile, but the mile I'd choose if I were a foreigner who wanted to stay lost. Besides, I had contacts there, characters who had feelers out in the international underground, informers I'd had in my pocket for years. Benny the Greek, who squawked twice in the last 6 months to our mutual advantage. Or Gert the Gypsy, who'd sell her own daughter for a bottle of gin. Or Jolly Cavano, a Latin layabout with a photographic memory, who saw everything, heard everything, but said nothing. Until money loosened his tongue. And it did, on the subject of Senior Faria.
Call Garcia. Tell him I need the car. We shall be moving out of London.
And the girl?
She goes with us.
I want to see him now.
There is a man outside causing trouble. He's asking for you. Shall I throw him out?
No. We cannot risk drawing attention to this place. Send him in.
Keep away from there.
Now, don't be a fool. I'm a policeman.
Faria!
You hurt?
No, it's just my head aches a bit.
No doubt you're making an inquiry as to why I entered this country without going through the normal immigration formalities.
Not interested.
As for this girl, she has already told you herself. She's not been hurt.
Senor Faria, I'm a policeman, but at this moment I am not working by the book. If I were, you'd be under arrest and facing a deportation order. As it is, I haven't even reported your location yet.
Oh, you must think I'm very naive.
Listen, I know what you're doing here. I know what you've come to buy. I know who's making it, and I know who's selling it. But there's one thing about PG7 I know which you don't. When I tell you I'm going to make a deal with you, a personal, off-the-record deal which would cost me my job if it were known.
Do you think it's true when he opens his eyes, he croaks?
Yeah, I think it's true.
So?
So nothing. He'll be out for another 2.5 hours. Wait till an hour after dark and dump him in the river.
What do you tell the professor?
He woke up. He was supposed to be on duty, so he left.
Sounds okay. So in 90 minutes, then the river. What happens when they find the body?
No marks, nothing in the stomach, lungs full of water. That's a case of drowning in any coroner's book.
I want to get one thing straight, Faria. I'm not interested in the political angle. If you want to change your government by force, I'm neutral. But there's a difference between revolution and extermination. Well, you'd use machine guns on policemen and soldiers, but you wouldn't drop an H-bomb in your capital city.
This is purely academic.
No. It's immediate and practical. PG7 in its present form is as big a crime against humanity as the bomb.
So you tell me?
I just want you to take me to Professor Boone. Under any condition you like.
It's a trap.
What kind of a trap? Right now, I should be charging you with assault and illegal entry. As it is, I'm on a limb. I'm guilty of conspiracy. And I'm willing to let you get a free getaway. I'll put it down on a piece of paper and sign it with Jean as a witness. Anything. Just to protect you from a double cross. Just as long as you put me next to Professor Boone.
Don't do it.
Come on, Faria, make up your mind.
All right, I'll take you. You're a South American, a chemist, a member of my organization who wishes to discuss technical details with Boone and see a demonstration. If you can prove your point, you arrest me. If not, I shall be free to treat you as I would an enemy.
Fair enough.
One further precaution. Miss Carter stays here with Silver.
No, wait a minute.
You said any condition.
I'll be all right, Nick. You go ahead.
All right.
You're late. I told you
That
to
wasn't
take...
my car. It's Faria with another guy.
Without calling first? Hey, you got your gun?
Yeah?
Well, grab a white coat and get in the lab there with the professor.
Okay. What for?
Well, just in case Faria gets some fancy idea about hijacking the stuff.
Okay.
Oh, come in, senor. Now, what can I do for you?
Good evening, Mr. Sullivan. This is Dr. Pilar, a chemist and an associate of mine. We would like to know more about PG7 from the technical angle.
Why, sure. What is it? You know, I'm sorry you gentlemen didn't arrive a few hours sooner.
You've used PG7 on this man.
The professor did. One whiff and he was out in 2 seconds. Just think of it, senor. Whole cities asleep like babies while your boys move in and take over.
Sleeping like a baby, huh?
Anybody can dream.
I would like to be present when he wakes.
Well, the professor says about noon tomorrow. Why don't you come back then?
Well, as long as we're here, couldn't we see him now?
Sure, why not?
Alone?
No, the professor doesn't know about our business arrangements. He thinks he's making PG7 for a worldwide demonstration now. I'd hate to shatter his illusion.
Oh, you can trust Dr. Pilar.
Sorry. If you want a meeting of the eggheads, it's okay by me. But we'll all go. And just as a precaution, gentlemen, why don't we put our guns on the table?
Guns?
Oh, just in case you might be tempted to save yourself a few bucks and walk out with a formula in your pocket for free. Thank you, gentlemen. This way we'll find it easier to trust one another. Oh, Professor. These gentlemen are from the European Commission. Dr. Pilar here would like to ask you a few questions.
How do you do, Dr. Pilar? Ask anything you like.
Just one question. Do you have any records of experiments on primates?
Oh, no. I've no actual records. But tests were carried out by the ministry, so I've been able to use it for the first time on a man.
I saw him. When will he come out of his coma?
I should say any time within the next few hours.
You told me noon tomorrow.
Why did you say that? I told you I'd...
Well, I made a mistake.
No doubt Mr. Sullivan had his reasons.
Why are you so anxious to see him at the moment of waking?
No, I'm not, but I think you should. I could tell you, but you might not believe me.
Look, who is this man?
Nick, Sullivan, I told him.
He's a cop. Give me the gun, Rock.
Put it away, Sullivan.
I still have an investment to protect. Get that formula, Rocco.
No.
Put that down, you maniac.
Get that formula. On the bench here. Destroy it.
Look, I would know it if I saw it. You get it. Give me this.
Don't do it, Boone. This is not a bluff.
Nor is this.
Of course, it was easy for me. You see, I knew that bottle only contained a harmless irritant gas. I wonder if I'd have had the courage to go through with it if it had really been PG7.
Yes, you would. Nick didn't know, and he dropped it.
Well, I'm no hero. I didn't know, but I figured no one would keep the real stuff in an ordinary glass container where it could get dropped at any time.
Oh, incidentally, whatever happened to Faria after you dealt with Sullivan and Rocco?
Well, he sort of vanished, didn't he? I'm afraid I kind of slipped up there. But MI5 are still looking for him.
Well, I forgot to tell you, they've stopped now. He turned up in South America yesterday.
Oh. Ah, Professor Boone, you've given the Director of Public Prosecutions quite a headache. Well, simply in the case of Sullivan and Rocco, they're being charged with conspiracy to steal commercial secrets and wounding you with intent to kill.
What will happen to Sebastian?
Yes, that's the problem. You were lucky that Todd got only a microdose and didn't die, but there'll have to be a charge of attempted manslaughter, and even if you were tried in camera, too many people would have to hear too much about PG7. No, what I think he'll decide is this. You'll go before the magistrate, you'll be remanded on bail, and the case will be adjourned sine die.
Good. Because I have an engagement to speak in Trafalgar Square on Sunday. I know speeches aren't going to do much good, but one of these days, somebody is going to invent a PG8. Or even a PG88. And it'll work. Goodbye.